Problem D goes back to how the first couple problems were. Only 3 digits, 560. And you're rounding to the nearest 100. Okay, so I'm going to round to my hundreds. Let's check with the neighbor. My neighbor is a 6. If the neighbor is a 6, do I need to go up or am I going to stay the same? Noah, what am I going to do?
Up.
Go up. So, Noah, if I had a 5 and I go up one more, what is it going to be? What would what would I get if I had 5 and I put one more?
6.
6. So instead of 500, I have 6. And again, all the smaller place values turn to 0 so that I have a nice round number. So my answer would be 600. If I round 560, I get 600. Problem E tries to scare us again by giving us a big number. Didn't work. Again, no matter how big the number is, no matter what place value you're rounding to, it all works the same. This time, we're rounding 68,943. And we have to round to the nearest 10,000. Again, does not matter how big the number is. It does not matter what place value you're rounding to. It all works the same. So I need to check the neighbor. The neighbor is an 8. What do I need to do if the neighbor is an 8? Am I going to go up or am I going to stay the same? Alexa, what's going to happen?
It's going to go up because it's more than 5.
More than 5. So the 6 is going to turn into what?
A 7.
7. So 7 in the 10,000 place. And after, all the smaller place values are going to be zeros. So if I round 68,943, I get 70,000. Problem F, we're working with the thousands. 4,597. Round to the nearest 1,000. So I'm going to circle my 1,000's place. I'm going to check the neighbor. The neighbor is a 5. If the neighbor is a 5, what do I need to do? Is it going to go up or is it going to stay the same? Kylie?
The 5 is going to go up
Not the
because
5.
I
What's in the
mean
what's in the thousands place?
4.
The 4. The 4 is going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it turn into?
It turns into a 5.
Turns into a 5. So there's a 5 in the thousands place. And all my smaller place values turn into 0. So the end of the number is nice and round. 4,597 rounds to 5,000. I want you to go to the next page. Skills 2. And we're still working with some rounding here. But there's something different about these ones. I'll show you. Problem 1 says round 3,458. 3,458 to the nearest hundred. So they want to round not the thousands place. They want to round the hundreds place. You don't have to round the biggest place value. You can round a smaller place value. Yes, Violet.
Can you move it a little bit up? Move your paper? Well, I mean a little bit down. That's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Since I did switch over to a new page, I want to write that rule again. 5 or more. Add 1 more. 4 or less. Let it rest. So again, you don't have to round to the biggest place value. You can round to a smaller place value. But it still works the same. They told me to round to the hundreds place. I'm still going to check the neighbor. The neighbor to the hundreds place is a 5. If the neighbor is a 5, what am I going to do to my hundreds place? Is my hundreds place going to go up, or is it going to stay the same? It does, doesn't it? Kylie.
It's gonna go up.
Gonna go up. Okay, so Kylie, it was a 4, and if it goes up 1 more, it's going to be?
To a 5.
Okay, so my hundreds place is a 5. All the smaller place values are 0. Now, any place value that's bigger, like the thousands place is bigger, I didn't round that place value. I didn't touch it. I didn't mess with it. I didn't change it. So it stays the same. It was a 3,000 before. It's going to be a 3,000 now. So anytime that you round a number, if there's a bigger place value, one that you didn't touch or move or mess with or look at, it stays the same. If you didn't mess with it, don't mess with it. Don't change it. You just leave it the way that it is. Problem 2 gives us the number 27,453. And again, they don't want us to round to the biggest place value. They want us to round to the thousands place. So I'm going to check the neighbor of the thousands place. And there's a 4. Who can tell me if the neighbor is a 4? What am I going to do to that thousands place? Am I going to go up, or am I going to stay the same? Ezekiel, what am I going to do here? Is my thousands place going to go up, or is it going to stay the same, Ezekiel?
It's gonna go up.
Okay. What's the neighbor, Ezekiel? The neighbor of the thousands place is what? What number is here?
A 4.
4. Okay, let's take a look. 5 or more, add one more. 4 or less, let it rest. So there's two groups. Any number that's 5 or more than 5, and any number that is 4 or less than 4. Which group is this in? Is it in the 5 or more, or is it in the 4 or less?
It's in the 4 or less.
4 or less. So if it's in the 4 or less group, what are you going to do? Four or less,
Let it rest.
let it rest. That means you have to leave it alone. The only time that you add one more is if the neighbor was a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9. So I'm going to let it rest. I'm not going to mess with it. That means it was a 7. It's going to stay a 7. All the smaller place values are going to be zeros. And my 10,000 place, since I didn't touch with it, I didn't mess with it, nothing happened to it, going to be a 2. So when I round that number, I get 27,000.